15,000 feet. 15,000 feet. Hallelujah.
What's happening, Internet peoples? John Ryan here with IGN, and we're going over some basic strategies for getting started in BioShock Infinite. Now, the beautiful thing about this game is that with the dozens of combinations between weapons, vigors, and gear, you can really play through this game any way that you please. However, there are a few things that you'll want to keep in mind during the early hours of the game, as your arsenal isn't as awe-inspiring as it could be just yet. First and foremost, the most important thing you can do from the get-go is to scavenge, pilfer, and search to collect as many shiny silver eagles as you can. It seems like the citizens of Columbia have a strange affinity for just kind of throwing money away. And like, literally, half the trash cans you'll come across are figuratively stuffed full of money. If I was a homeless person, I'd totally want to live in Columbia, even despite the horrifically oppressive government.
There's plenty of places down below where you'll find more of the same.
Now, make sure to keep an eye out for any and all coins, cash, dollar bills lying or left around, because the more money that you have on hand, the easier your journey through Columbia is going to be. Not only are weapon and vigor upgrades as expensive as they are deadly, but if you're playing on a harder difficulty level, you'll need that money to constantly replenish your health, salts, and your ammo supply. Now, speaking of spending all of your hard-earned coin, or hard-found, I guess, on vigor and weapon upgrades, there are a few that you'll want to pick up right off the bat when you start the game. The first vending machine you'll come across is a Veni Vidi Vigor machine, which allows you to purchase upgrades to vigors like Bucking Bronco or Possession. Now, obviously the Bronco upgrade is a ways out of your price range, and also you haven't acquired that vigor yet, though apparently if you purchase the DLC Season Pass, you can start the game with enough money to buy the Bucking Bronco vigor at the Fairgrounds display. However, we're going to go ahead and assume that you didn't buy that, and you're still poor just like the rest of us. The Possession upgrade, however, is the one you'll definitely want and or need, depending on what difficulty that you're playing on. It's pretty much invaluable to you during the first hour or so of gameplay, until you acquire the Murder of Crow's vigor over at the Order of the Raven. And the upgrade allowing human possession is really useful, since there isn't always a turret handy to fight your battles for you.
He'll take care of the son of a bitch!
Sometimes, however, you're going to want to give the surrogates a rest and take the fight into your own hands. Or maybe I should say hook. Anyways, Booker's skyhook executions are some of the most viscerally satisfying moments throughout the game, and while it may seem like a superficial and kind of bloodthirsty move, it's actually worthwhile to begin incorporating it into combat regularly. Later on in the game, this becomes especially handy if you've picked up certain gear items like Kill to Live or the Vampire's Embrace, which replenishes health when you skyhook an enemy right in the jaw. Now, since we're kind of touching on the subject of gear, there's another important pickup that you're going to want to stay on the lookout for. New gear is usually hidden sort of off the beaten path, either, down a hall or a staircase, or more frequently it's behind one of the lockpick doors that Elizabeth has to open. There's a ton of different types of gear and just as many different combinations for you to think up. However, this can kind of be both a blessing and a curse. Now, some of the gear that you'll find throughout BioShock Infinite's campaign is awesome and pretty much invaluable to your combat efficiency. The one I mentioned earlier, the Vampire Embrace boots, give you the ability to leech health with a melee kill, and the Bullet Boon pants, I think they are, they extend your ammo capacity for all your weapons by like 50%. But for every awesome modifier like that, there's an equally useless one that'll, boost your speed on a skyline by like, 5 or 10%. So getting your hands on the right gear can be pretty daunting, mostly because gear pickups are actually randomized each time a checkpoint loads. This means that if you pick up the Storm Hat, which is one of my personal favorites, chains Devil's Kiss or Shock Jockey or Bucking Bronco to other enemies if the target that's affected by one of those things is killed. But, you get yourself killed before another checkpoint passes, and it very well may respawn in something useless, like Skyline Reloader, which essentially just reloads your gun every time you jump off a skyline. Which is still cool, but way less awesome than Super Electric Hat. The randomization of gear can work in your favor, however, if you're willing to waste a little bit of time reloading some checkpoints and regathering the gear that you've already found, until you basically manage to come up with something useful. Now, you might consider it a futile exploitation of the game's mechanics, or, quote-unquote cheap, but if you're going to get through the battles in Columbia, you're going to want the right equipment. No matter how you choose to play through it, Columbia's got options. If you take nothing else from everything that I've said in the last 4 or 5 minutes, it's this. Keep exploring.
Can you open this, Elizabeth?
Let me see.
Not only are there tons of upgrades and weapons and little silver dollars lying all over the place, but there's so much more to this universe than you'll find just at face value, so don't be afraid to go off the beaten path. For more on BioShock Infinite on the PS3, 360, and PC, keep it locked right here at IGN.